Welcome back, guys. If you are just joining us, this is INX Prime Live. Remember, we are on your screens every single Monday to Friday between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Now, today we are thrilled to welcome Shabnam Palesa Mohamed here to share with us the incredible story behind Paint the Silence 365. Now, it is an arts project that transforms the 16 days of activism into 365 days of action to highlight and to combat the realities of abuse, war, and conflict. We are going to chat to her right now. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for joining us here on INX Prime Live.
Walaikum salam. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
No, you're most welcome. Thanks again for joining us. I want to get into this conversation, though I know that this was started by two very prominent doctors. Can you tell us more about the collaboration between Dr. Soobben as well as Dr. Padayachee that led to the creation of Paint the Silence?
Absolutely. So Paint the Silence 365 is a pioneering and multidisciplinary project that aimed to spotlight child abuse, gender-based violence, and wars. And of course, they are all connected through the medium of visual arts and film, poetry, and of course, some excellent keynote speakers, which we'll talk about shortly. The idea was conceptualized through a conversation between Dr. Nanda Soobben, who's South Africa's first Black political cartoonist, animator, very long CV, at a peace mural that he had painted in Chatsworth in Durban. And invited to inaugurate this peace mural was Judge Nabi Pillay, Dr. Anshu Padayachee, Dr. Shabnam Palesa, and Dr. Padayachee and Judge Pillay had co-founded the advice desk for the abused. And so Dr. Padayachee heard about art classes that Dr. Soobben was providing for young children through the Young Artist Program. And she said, how wonderful would it be to have similar art programs for women who are experiencing gender-based violence. And so that's where the concept actually started in April this year around Freedom Day with extensive workshops and critical thinking classes, etc. But it's evolved because, of course, 16 days must be 365, and we recognize the enormous trauma experienced through conflicts, occupation, and genocide in our world. And of course, we stand against all forms of violence. So we're painting the silence against violence.
No, I love that. And I mean, you did share with us quite a lot about the vision of the project as well in terms of its involvement. But I just want to touch on, the fact that it is actually a platform to be able to indicate or showcase that, children that are involved with war or also gender-based violence as well through an art installation. Maybe you can share with us more information on that.
Absolutely. So first of all, let me say I'm so grateful to be working with brilliantly talented visual artists, performance artists, etc., poets who are all coming together for this great big vision of Paint the Silence Against Violence 365. So the art installation you're talking about now is one that I have a particular interest in, and I'm hoping that the public is going to come along and support, and that is to show the impact of conflict on children. So the idea is to build an art installation with rubble and intersperse it with teddy bears, baby rattles, children's books, and shrouds. So shrouds would have to have red paint over it to symbolize the children, and of course mannequins with arms off and legs off, etc., showing the very real suffering of children in not only in Palestine, of course, but in Sudan, in the DRC, in other parts of our world where we need to protect our children from all forms of violence, including war. So that's going to be a very powerful installation, and we do invite the public to come get along, get involved in Paint the Silence Against Violence.
No, we really, really do love that, and we love the work that you do. I just want to say that it's clear that obviously Paint the Silence is quite a passionate and meaningful project in that sense for everyone who is involved. But would you say, what would you actually say to someone who is actually inspired by your work or wants to get involved or contribute in any way whatsoever?
Please get involved. It takes all of us to co-create a peaceful world, a kind of world that our children can live in with joy. And so please get involved through our Facebook page called Paint the Silence. You can contact me or Dr. Nanda Soobben. You can contribute to the installations that we're having, in particular the anti-war installations. You can donate art materials. You can donate towards the cost of hosting this particularly ambitious event. And of course, spread the word and talk about how we can wage peace with each other. Make that a regular conversation. How can we create a more peaceful world?
No, definitely, without a doubt. I mean, we are getting a lot of comments and questions coming in from social media. And I mean, Jessica is very interested in what you guys are doing. She wants to actually know when and where will the event actually be taking place.
So the opening and the close will take place at the cinema at Suncoast in eThekwini, Durban, KZN. We're very grateful to the Avalon Group for sponsoring the space for the opening and the close. The opening will be on the 24th of November, that's a Sunday, and the closing will be on the 9th at Suncoast. Now, the 10th is International Human Rights Day, so we may have a separate event at another venue. But for the opening and the close, we're going to have films, there's going to be poetry, there will be performance. Our opening keynote speaker is Dr. and former judge Navi Pillay. And for our closing, it's Dr. Ismail Mohamed from the Center for Creative Arts at UKZN. And he'll be talking about the role of arts in advancing human rights. So it's going to be absolutely brilliant. There will be some surprises, perhaps some flash mobs, I don't know. Come along and join us to find out more.
Yeah, it sounds very, very exciting. I know that we are getting a lot of comments and questions coming in. People are very excited about this installation. I just wanted to know, how can people participate, again, in the active art installation, and also perhaps in any of the other activities that you guys have planned out as well?
So if there are artists who have work that speaks to child abuse, gender-based violence, and war, and remember, it can reflect not only the pain, but also the victory, triumph over these societal scourges, you can contact us on email, paintthesilence@proton.me. You can WhatsApp me, 074-874-2291. Contact us on the Facebook page. You will find a poster on the Facebook page for an artist call-out. There's a QR code at the bottom right. Scan that to submit your work. It'll go through a curating process. And of course, this will not be the only Paint the Silence. We plan to move around the rest of the country, and in particular work with children. For this particular installation, children will be making anti-war posters. We hope to be giving them seeds so they can plant seed gardens. If you have access to seeds, please do, non-GMO. Please donate them to us. We want to build a better world through our children as well as peacemakers. So get into contact with us, and hopefully we'll be coming to a city near you very soon.
No, we're definitely looking forward to that. But again, Shabnam, thank you so much for joining us tonight on INX Prime Live. Again, the work that you do is absolutely incredible.
Thank you very much, and a special shout out to all of our NGO partners who are participating: Lifeline, Childline, Advice Desk, PACT, and the Nanda Soobben Arts Education Foundation. Paint the silence against violence.
Brilliant. Actually, before we do let you go, though, just a quick one. In terms of just advice as well for young people out in the country, what advice do you have for our youth in the country?
Well, it's up to us to co-create a more peaceful world. It's not easy, given the fact that there are those who benefit from violence, from anxiety, from depression, particularly the pharmaceutical industry. So you have to take back power over your own health, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual well-being. And art is a form of therapy and empowerment and expression. There's nothing quite like it. In fact, I like to say art changes the world faster than politics can. So use the arts to advance human rights, to express yourself, and do something to make the world a better place. The power of the people is greater than people in power, and we are the 99%.
I mean, that was a bar. Thank you so much again, Shabnam. I really do appreciate it. Guys, that is Shabnam Palesa Mohamed, who is actually the spokesperson of Paint the Silence. Now, she was just sharing with us more information about this incredible project that they do have.